Now, I want to be very clear that if you do not follow every single rule of this strategy, it will be more harmful than helpful. And instead of you being able to quit your job, you will quickly be looking for a new job. Seriously, pay close attention from start to finish to make sure that you are ready to use this strategy in a live market. What is up, everybody? As I said before, it is always best to teach by example. So today I'm going to be using Forex Replay to show you how this strategy actually looks as candles print rather than using TradingView and just marking up old price action. So this strategy is very, very simple. There are only 2 rules and then there are 3 steps to the execution. So the only rules for this strategy are that we're going to be only trading the NASDAQ, which is NQ, or NAS 100 or US 100, depending on your broker. It's just NAS 100, NASDAQ, NQ, whatever you want to call it. And then you have to close all trades or cancel the orders by 4 p.m. So as for the first of the 3 steps, we're going to be waiting until the 10 a.m. silver bullet hour, right? So the silver bullet does have 3 different time windows. There's 3 to 4 a.m., 10 to 11 a.m., and then 2 to 3 p.m. But we're going to be only focusing on the a.m. hour, right? So what's really cool about Forex Replay is you can actually click go to and it'll take you right to the next silver bullet session. But what I've done to make it even quicker is I've actually customized my next day open time to 10 a.m. since we're only using 1 silver bullet session. So we went to the next day open, and all we're going to be waiting for after the first step is just to see a 5-minute fair value gap form, and it's going to be the very, very first 5-minute fair value gap, and it has to form before 11 a.m. That is it. So that's step 2. So let's see if we can get that. Let's see, no fair value gap yet. Okay, boom. We've got a fair value gap right here. So we are going to draw out that fair value gap. So the third step is how we're going to actually execute this trade. So step 3 is just to set a limit order on the fair value gap with a stop at fair value gap candle number 1. Now this is very important, and we're going to be targeting a fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. Yes, it is literally that simple, right? And you have so many people overcomplicating this and going into the 1 minute and all these unnecessary things and making it much, much harder than it needs to be. You don't have to worry about daily bias. We're not worried about previous day high or previous daily low or previous week's high or low or ICT 22. We're not worried about any of that. Literally, this is it, right? So we are going to go ahead and place an order right here. Put it like that, fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. Now let's see if this gives a trade. It's entered us into a trade right there pretty quickly, and it goes pretty quickly to the take profit. So let's go ahead and click go to the next day open, which is going to be 10 a.m. I have it set. Now notice there is news here. That's okay. It does not matter, right? So, okay, boom, we have a fair value gap. Now notice that fair value gap was formed after the news Judas swing. So first fair value gap after 10 a.m. and it can be the 10 a.m. candle. I've seen some people saying it can't be that. I've tested this strategy, and I'm going to share the results with you guys at the end of this, along with this test, but with a much, much longer test to show you guys that this works. And yes, trading can be that simple. So we're going to go ahead, click that place order. It automatically risks 1%. Boom, we're going to do that right there. Let's see, it gives us an entry, goes right to the take profit, right? Now it's not going to be like that every time. There are losses. This is not a 100% win rate clickbait. It's not 100%. It's a very high win rate, but it's not 100% as nothing is. But after that, we're going to go to the next day open. We're going to wait for the first fair value gap to form. Boom, there's a fair value gap right there. The first candle. So we're going to do this. Now the stop, whenever I say the first candle low, remember fair value gap is a 3 candle formation, right? It's not just this candle. So we're putting it under that first candle's low and targeting a fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. Now it doesn't matter if there's structure or liquidity, and we're not targeting structure or a fair value gap or anything. It's just 2-to-1 risk to reward. Very simple. All right, so let's see. It gives us an entry. It's moving pretty nicely. Goes right to the TP. Now, another thing I want you guys to notice is there's been a setup 3 days in a row. This is not how it's always going to happen, but this setup will occur multiple times per week. So we're going to go ahead and go to the next silver bullet session. This is a Sunday. If it hits a Sunday, sometimes it'll go to that. So if that happens, make sure you're not trading on Sundays. Only Monday through Friday. So next day open. And you couldn't trade on a Sunday anyways because it's 10 a.m. Market's not open. But we're going to go ahead and wait for see if a fair value gap forms. Okay, there is a fair value gap. Now, this is a very, very important part of this strategy. And this is why mechanical strategies are very, very powerful. So let's see if it gives an entry. Another nice trade. Pretty quick to the TP here on this trade. So you can see the account is already up $8,000, right? That is just risking 2-to-1 risk to reward. Now this is in a couple of days. Now this is not always going to happen. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is a 100% win rate strategy. So don't say that I'm saying that. So going to the next day's open, boom, right here, we have our first fair value gap. Now notice again, we're not going on any other time frames. We're not doing anything except spotting that first fair value gap. Stop under the first candle, fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. Place an order right here. Boom. Let's see. It almost stopped out, but it looks like it might not. Oh, max pain if this stops. Okay. I was going to say that would suck. You got entered in right here. And then you got entered in over here. Almost stopped out. Came back to break even a couple times. And notice how it actually reacts to this level throughout the day. But after that, I went to the take profit. So let's go ahead and go to the next day. As you can see, the account's up 10% already. This is just in, I think, a little over a week. So the overall statistics, it looks like Monday and Wednesday were the only days that saw losses. The average trade time is 1 hour. That's not a long time. And it's really nice with this strategy is, if you're maybe running a business or working or you have other, time constraints, it's just 1 hour a day. That's it, right? If the setup doesn't happen between 10 and 11, you have no setup. If it does happen, you enter the trade, and the only thing you need to do is make sure that if the TP or the stop hasn't hit by 4, that you close the trade or cancel the order. That's all you have to do, right? Another nice thing about it is whenever you lose, you usually know pretty quickly. Also, there's only one setup per day, which can help a lot of you guys who are degens and have, over trading problems because there's only one setup a day. So here are some analytics for a longer period of time, which is a total of 77 trades. You can still see it has a 48% win rate, and the account is up 27%, and that is in just under a quarter. Now, these are amazing results, right? 27%. Let's say if you have a 100K funded account and you were just scaling that, you would be up $27,000 in just a couple of months off of a $500 investment.